All right, if everyone can find their seats, we'll call the meeting to order. All right. I have 5:06 on my time here.
Welcome back.
Very good. Well, good evening. It's September 19th, 2023. I have 5:06 on our time, and I'd like to call to order. I would like to ask the county attorney to read into the record the proof of public hearing notification compliance. Mr. County Attorney.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. In my hands, I hold the proof of publication for tonight's meeting. It has been duly advertised in accordance with Florida law. You are authorized to proceed, and I will hand that to our distinguished clerk.
All right, thank you, Mr. County Attorney. I now hereby open the public hearing this evening on the fiscal year 23-24 final millage and budget for Lee County. If anyone in our audience is here for the purpose of contesting their assessment, they should contact the Lee County property appraiser. Tonight, we're holding the final millage and budget public hearing as required by Florida statutes chapters 129 and 200. The hearing will be conducted as follows. The board will first convene as the Board of Port Commissioners and proceed as follows. We'll have a budget presentation by the Port Authority Deputy Executive Director, public comment for final Port Authority budget. This will be your only opportunity to comment on all budgets the Board of Port Commissioners has authority over. There will be no other opportunity during this hearing to provide your comments. We'll then have the Board of Port Commissioners make discussions and motions. Then after that, we'll have the adoption of the fiscal year 23-24 final Port Authority budget resolution with any appropriate changes. Following that, the board will reconvene as the Board of County Commissioners and will proceed as follows. Number one, we'll have a brief overview of Lee County's fiscal year 23-24 proposed budget presented by the Assistant County Manager and CFO. Presentation of Lee County's total budget by Assistant County Manager and CFO, including a discussion of percentage increase in the millage over the rollback rate needed to fund the budget and the specific purposes for which ad valorem tax revenues are being increased. That's according to Florida statutes 200.065 parentheses 2 parentheses E parentheses 1. Presentation of special taxing units proposed final millages by the MSTU project manager. Public comment for all budget issues under the authority of the Board of County Commissioners. This will be your only opportunity to comment on all budgets the Board of County Commissioners has authority over. There will be no other opportunity during this hearing to provide your comments. Following public comment, the Board of County Commissioners may comment and then take action to move for approval of A, appropriate changes, B, a resolution to adopt the final millage, and C, the final budget. We'll also then consider the special taxing units, final millages and budgets, consider countywide final millage and budget, consider library, unincorporated MSTU, and all hazards protection final millages and budgets, and consider all other final budgets. Concerning citizen comments, in order to expedite hearing from everyone, citizen comments will only be heard during the two public comment segments of this hearing. One segment for the Board of Port Commissioners and the other segment for the Board of County Commissioners. Speakers will be limited to 3 minutes. Please do not applaud or take any other actions that might intimidate or encourage a speaker. Public comments will continue until everyone who wishes to address the Commission has had an opportunity to speak. We'll now convene as the Board of Port Commissioners, and I would like to ask the Port Authority Deputy Executive Director to present the fiscal year 23-24 proposed budget. Good evening.
Good evening, Commissioners. Brian McGonigal, Lee County Port Authority. I'm just going to read this into the record, Mr. Chairman. In compliance with Florida statute, a public hearing is being held on September 19, 2023 for the purpose of adopting the budget for fiscal year 23-24. The Board of Port Commissioners has acknowledged the revenue estimates necessary to fund the Port Authority budget for fiscal year 23-24. The Board of County Commissioners is now convened as the Board of Port Commissioners for adoption of the final Port Authority budget. The budget for 23-24, as shown by the attached schedules of each fund, is now made a part of this resolution and is proposed for adoption of the final budget of the Lee County Port Authority for fiscal year 23-24. Commissioners, we have not made any adjustments to the budget since we presented to you back in June.
Okay, very good. At this time, the Commission would be pleased to hear any citizens' comments concerning the Port Authority's final budget for fiscal year 23-24. So I'll go ahead and open it up for public comment on the Port Authority's budget. This is your only time to speak on the Port Authority's budget. Anybody wish to speak in public comment? Okay, I see no speakers. This now concludes the public comment segment regarding the Port Authority budget, and I will now ask for a motion to adopt the final budget for the Port Authority for fiscal year 23-24.
I'll make a motion to adopt.
The motion's from Commissioner Greenwell, seconds from Commissioner Sandelli. Do we have any discussion on the motion? All right, are there any objections to the motion? I see no objections. That motion carries unanimously.
Thank you.
Thank you very much. We will now reconvene as the Board of County Commissioners. We'll begin by asking if any constitutional officer or any court-related services organization desires to make a budget presentation. If so, please step forward to the podium area one at a time to make your statements. Do we have any constitutional officers or any court-related services? Okay, I see none. At this time, then, we'll ask the Assistant County Manager and CFO to present the fiscal year 23-24 proposed budget. Mr. Winton, you're recognized.
Good evening, Commissioners. This is the public hearing as required by Chapters 129 and 200 Florida statutes. Chapter 200, as amended, requires that a public hearing on the budgets be preceded by notice of the hearing. Such notice was advertised in the news press on September 16, 2023. At this time, we will read the proposed millages, rollback rates, and the proposed percentage change from the rollback rate for the county's general fund, library, unincorporated area, MSTU, all hazards, and special taxing units millages. We will then take public input, and after public input, we will return to the board for discussion and vote on the millages. These proposed millages are established to pay for the fiscal year 2023-24 continuation budget. Commissioners, before I get into the millages, I do want to say one thing for the county's four property tax millages: the countywide general fund millage, the library millage, the unincorporated MSTU tax rate, and the all hazards tax rate. The tax rate for this coming year is the exact same tax rate as the one we have this year. So we have made no changes in tax rate. And these tax rates are needed for a few reasons, primarily the build back from Hurricane Ian. This year, we had new construction of $3.1 billion, but due to Ian, the tax base lost $9.5 billion of tax base. So we have a net negative number of $6.4 billion. So the tax rates remaining the same will help build back from Hurricane Ian, and they will also fund needed resources in law enforcement for the Sheriff's Office, emergency medical services, and our transit division. With that, I'll go through the millages. Countywide millage, the proposed countywide millage is 3.7623 mils per thousand taxable value, equal to the rolled back rate of 3.3505 mils per thousand of taxable value. The proposed millage is a 12.29% increase from the rolled back rate. Lee County Library, the proposed Lee County Library millage is 0.4714 mils per thousand taxable value, equal to the rolled back rate of 0.4213 mils per thousand of taxable value. The proposed millage is a 11.89% increase from the rolled back rate. Lee County Unincorporated Area MSTU. The proposed Lee County Unincorporated Area MSTU millage is 0.8398 mils per thousand taxable value compared to the rollback rate of 0.7506 mils per thousand of taxable value. The proposed millage is a 11.88% increase from the rollback rate. Lee County All Hazards Protection District. The proposed Lee County All Hazards Protection District millage is 0.0693 mils per thousand taxable value compared to the rollback rate of 0.0617 mils per thousand of taxable value. This represents a 12.32% increase from the rollback rate. Municipal services taxing / benefit units. The municipal services taxing / benefit units allow communities to tax themselves to pay for added services such as streetlights, dredging, road paving, and landscaping. For those units that have citizen committees, the budgets for next year were approved by the committees, and the tax rate is a reflection of what is required to pay the annual cost. For those that don't have citizen committees, the county charges a rate that pays for annual costs while maintaining a small operational reserve for variances in revenues and unanticipated costs. I will now read into the record the proposed millage rates, the rollback rates, and the percentage change from the rollback rate for each of the special taxing units millages. Alabama Groves Light, proposed millage rate of 0.60000. That is a 15.81% increase from the rollback rate of 0.5181. Bayshore Estates Light, proposed millage 1.7000. That is a 33.12% increase from the rollback rate of 1.2770. Billy Creek Commerce Center Light, proposed millage of 0.1800. That is a 10.98% decrease from the rollback rate of 0.2022. Burkdale Street Light, proposed millage of 2.900. That is a 16.94% increase from the rollback rate of 0.2480. Burnt Store Fire, proposed millage of 2.6300. That is a 26.66% increase from the rollback rate of 2.0765. Charleston Park Light, proposed millage 1.6500. That is a 13.11% increase from the rollback rate of 1.4587. Cypress Lake Light, proposed millage of 0.3900. That is an 18.04% increase from the rollback rate of 0.3304. Daughtry Creek Light, proposed millage of 0.8500. That is a 34.20% increase from the rollback rate of 0.6334. Flamingo Bay Light, proposed millage 0.3800. That is a 28.86% increase from the rollback rate of 0.2949. Fort Myers Shores Light, proposed millage of 0.1865. That is a 24.25% increase from the rollback rate of 0.1501. Fort Myers Villas Light, proposed millage of 0.2320. That is 11.48% increase from the rollback rate of 0.2081. Gasparilla Island, MSTU, proposed millage of 0.0495. That is a 13.53% increase from the rollback rate of 0.0436. Harlem Heights Light, proposed millage of 0.5000. That is a 3.86% increase from the rollback rate of 0.4814. Hyman Apollo Streetlight Unit, proposed millage 0.9000. That is a 2.51% decrease from the rollback rate of 0.9232. Hendry Creek Light, that is a proposed millage 0.4300. That is a 23.28% increase from the rollback rate of 0.3488. Iona Gardens Light, proposed millage of 0.6000. That is an 8.75% increase over the rollback rate of 0.5517. Lehigh Acres Light, proposed millage 0.7460. That is a 13.01% increase over the rollback rate of 0.6601. Lockmore Village Light, proposed millage of 0.6500. That is a 43.93% increase over the rollback rate of 0.4516. Maryville Fire District, proposed millage 3.0000. That is a 12.11% increase over the rollback rate of 2.6760. McGregor Isles O&M Special Improvement Unit, proposed millage of 0.5000. That is a 32.00% increase over the rollback rate of 0.3788. Mobile Haven Light, proposed millage of 0.7000. That is a 14.49% increase over the rollback rate of 0.6114. Moore Shores Light, proposed millage of 0.3600. That is a 32.69% increase over the rollback rate of 0.2713. North Fort Myers Light, Proposed millage, 0.2300, that is a 25.34% increase over the rollback rate of 0.1835. Northeast Hurricane Bay, proposed millage 1.0000, that is 11.97% increase over the rollback rate of 0.8931. Page Park Light, proposed millage of 0.2500, that is a 26.52% increase over the rollback rate of 0.1976. Palmetto Point Light, proposed millage of 0.5500, that is a 60.84% decrease over the rollback rate of 1.4045. Palmona Park Light, proposed millage of 1.2500, that is a 12.09% increase over the rollback rate of 1.1152. Pine Manor Light, proposed millage of 0.5130, that is a 16.06% increase over the rollback rate of 0.4420. Port Edison Light, proposed millage of 0.6500, that is a 123.83% increase over the rollback rate of 0.2904. Riverdale Shores Improvement, proposed millage of 2.0000, that is a 27.43% increase over the rollback rate of 1.5695. Russell Park Light, proposed millage of 0.6300, that is a 28.81% increase over the rollback rate of 0.4891. San Carlos Island Lighting Unit, proposed millage 0.0950, that is an 89.62% increase over the rollback rate of 0.0501. San Carlos Special Improvement, proposed millage of 0.2800, that is a 13.96% increase over the rollback rate of 0.2457. Skyline Light, proposed millage 0.1600, that's a 29.76% increase over the rollback rate of 0.1233. St. Jude Harbor Light, proposed millage of 0.2500, that is an 18.65% increase over the rollback rate of 0.2107. Tanglewood Improvement, proposed millage 1.0000, that is 11.17% increase over the rollback rate of 0.8995. Town and River Improvement, proposed millage 0.5000, that is an 84.30% increase over the rollback rate of 0.2713. Trail Winds Light, proposed millage of 0.4300, that is a 2.72% increase over the rollback rate of 0.4186. Tropic Isles Light, proposed millage 0.5600, that's a 21.69% increase over the rollback rate of 0.4602. Usepa Island Fire, proposed millage 4.7999, that is a 20.86% increase over the rollback rate of 3.9713. Villa Palms Light, proposed millage of 0.6950, that is a 7.05% increase over the rollback rate of 0.6492. Villa Pines Light, proposed millage of 0.2955, that is a 9.57% increase over the rollback rate of 0.2697. Waterway Estates Light, proposed millage 0.3150, that's a 28.47% increase over the proposed millage over the rollback rate of 0.2452. Waterway Shores Light, proposed millage 1.3000, that's a 142.76% increase over the rollback rate of 0.5355. Whiskey Creek Improvement, proposed millage 0.9999, that is a 10.87% increase over the rollback rate of 0.9019. The previously read fiscal year 2023-24 special unit taxing unit millages are proposed for final adoption. Any percentage in the proposed millage of the rollback rate reflected above is due to a combination of increased electric costs, additional landscaping, and other future projects. If no changes are made after public comment, only one motion to adopt will be required, as the resolution includes all of these taxing units.
Thank you. Thank you, Mr. Winton. I'll now ask for a motion to adopt the final millage resolution for the special taxing units.
Move the item.
Okay, motion for approval from Commissioner Pendergrass, second from Commissioner Sandelli. Do we have any discussion? Are there any objections? No objections, that motion carries unanimously. I'll now ask for a motion to adopt the final budgets for the above stated special taxing units for the fiscal year 23-24.
Move the item.
Move approval from Commissioner Pendergrass, second from Commissioner Greenwell. Any discussion? Are there any objections? No objections, that motion carries unanimously. We'll now ask the Assistant County Manager and CFO to proceed with the county-wide millages and budgets. Mr. Winton, you're recognized. Oh, you know what?
yeah, Commissioner-
I actually skipped an entire
Skip page 9.
Yeah, so, okay. I'll now go back to page 9 and read the script as I was supposed to. All right, at this time, the commission would be pleased to hear any citizens' comments concerning any budgets under the authority of the Board of County Commissioners. Again, to reiterate, for those members of the public who have come in following the opening of the hearing, this will be your only opportunity to comment on all budgets the Board of County Commissioners has authority over. There will be no other opportunity during this hearing to provide your public comments. Okay, so I apologize for skipping page 9, but I would like to open it up at this time for public comment.
Divine intervention.
Yeah. Would anybody like to speak in public comment?
That was Marcia outside.
I,
Sorry.
that's just gonna make it into the minutes now. All right, I see no speakers. Anybody like to speak in public comment? Okay, I see no speakers, so at this time then, we will conclude public comment. And let's move back to the script now on page 10. I will now ask for a motion to adopt the final millage resolution for the special taxing units that were read by Mr. Winton. Commissioner Pendergrass, would you
Move
like
the
to
item.
make some motion for approval? Commissioner Sandelli? Commissioner Sandelli will make the second. Do we have any discussion on that? Do we have any objections? No objections, that motion carries unanimously. I'd now like to ask for a motion to adopt the final budgets for the above stated special taxing units for the fiscal year 23-24. Commissioner Pendergrass, would you like to make that
Move the
motion?
item.
Okay, and Commissioner Greenwell, would you like to second that? Commissioner Greenwell seconds that. Do we have any discussion? Are there any objections? No objections, motion carries unanimously. All right, I will now ask the Assistant County Manager and CFO to proceed with the countywide millages and budgets. Mr. Winton?
The proposed countywide millage is 3.7623 mills per thousand taxable value, equal to the rollback rate of 3.3505 mills per thousand of taxable value. The proposed millage is a 12.29% increase from the rollback rate.
Okay, I will now ask for a motion to adopt the final countywide millage resolution.
I'll make a motion to adopt.
Okay, motion from Commissioner Greenwell, second from Commissioner Sandelli. Any discussion? Are there any objections? No objections, that motion carries unanimously. I'll now ask for a motion to adopt the final countywide budget for the fiscal year 23-24.
Move the item.
Motion for approval from Commissioner Pendergrass, seconds from Commissioner Sandelli. Is there any discussion? Are there any objections? No objections, that motion carries unanimously. Mr. Winton?
The proposed Lee County Library millage is .4714 mills per thousand taxable value, equal to the rollback rate of .4213 mills per thousand of taxable value. The proposed millage is an 11.89% increase from the rollback rate.
Okay, I'll now ask for a motion to adopt the final Lee County Library millage resolution.
Move to adopt.
Okay, motion from Commissioner Greenwell. Second from Commissioner Sandelli. Is there any discussion? Are there any objections? No objections, that motion carries unanimously. I'll now ask for a motion to adopt the final Lee County Library budget for fiscal year 23-24. Motion for approval from Commissioner Sandelli, and the seconds from Commissioner Pendergrass. Is there any discussion? Are there any objections? No objections, that motion carries unanimously. Mr. Winton?
The proposed Lee County unincorporated area MSTU millage is 0.8398 mills per thousand taxable value, compared to the rollback rate of 0.7506 mills per thousand of taxable value. The proposed millage is an 11.88% increase from the rollback rate.
All right, I will now ask for a motion to adopt the final millage resolution for the Lee County unincorporated area MSTU.
I'll make a motion to adopt.
Motion from Commissioner Greenwell. Second from Commissioner Sandelli. Do we have any discussion? All right, are there any objections? No objections, that motion carries unanimously. I'll now ask for a motion to adopt the final budget for the Lee County unincorporated area MSTU. A motion for approval from Commissioner Sandelli, second from Commissioner Greenwell. Do we have any discussion? Are there any objections? No objections, that motion carries unanimously. Mr. Winton?
The proposed Lee County All Hazards Protection District millage is 0.0693 mils per thousand taxable value compared to the rollback rate of 0.0617 mils per thousand of taxable value. This represents a 12.32% increase from the rollback rate.
All right, I'll now ask for a motion to adopt the final millage resolution for the Lee County All Hazards Protection District. Motion from Commissioner Sandelli.
Second.
Second from Commissioner Pendergrass. Any discussion? Are there any objections? No objections, motion carries unanimously. I'll now ask for a motion to adopt the final budget for the Lee County All Hazards Protection District for the fiscal year 23-24.
I make a motion to move the item.
Okay, motions from Commissioner Greenwell, seconds from Commissioner Sandelli. Is there any discussion? Are there any objections? No objections, that motion carries unanimously. Mr. Winton?
Lee County, all other budgets for the board's adoption tonight make up the rest of the total county budget proposed for the next fiscal year. These are funds that are not supported by a millage and include significant operations such as utilities, solid waste, visitor and convention bureau, transit, toll facilities, and those budgets funded through grants from other entities. These budgets are included as part of the total Lee County budget and are detailed in the budget summary in your materials.
Okay. I will now ask for a motion to adopt the final Lee County all other budgets.
Move the item.
Second.
Motion for approval from Commissioner Pendergrass, seconds from Commissioner Greenwell. Is there any discussion? Are there any objections? No objections, that motion carries unanimously. All right, and Mr. Winton.
In compliance with Florida statutes, this public hearing is being held on September 19th, 2023 for the purpose of the adoption of the final total Lee County budget for fiscal year 23-24, and the Board of County Commissioners has now adopted the final millage rates necessary to fund the budget. The proposed total Lee County budget for fiscal year 23-24, as shown in the budget summary reports, which outline each fund and is made part of the budget resolution, is now being proposed for adoption as the final total Lee County budget of Lee County, Florida for fiscal year 23-24.
Okay, I will now ask for a motion to adopt the final total Lee County budget for fiscal year 23-24.
I move the item.
Motion from Commissioner Pendergrass, seconds from
I'll second.
Commissioner, Greenwell said it first. All right, Commissioner Greenwell makes the second. Do we have any discussion? Well, Commissioners, just since this is our final vote for the evening, and really to wrap up this budget year, I do want to say thank you and share my gratitude for our county manager, for the entire team at Lee County. This was a year, as Pete mentioned earlier, where we lost $9.5 billion in tax base due to Hurricane Ian, which has gone down as the third costliest hurricane in the history of the United States. And this was a year where some really tough decisions had to be made, and you know, I'm really proud of the way the county has recovered so far. I know we've got a long road to go, but I know we've got the team that can help our county get there and get back to being even better than it was before Hurricane Ian. And so it's been a pleasure to work with you all this year. To keep the tax rate the same after all of that is fantastic. And so, Commissioners, any comments, Commissioner Pendergrass?
I just want to say, echo the same thing, Chairman. Thank you for another great year as being chairman, and thank to all the county staff for everything you've done and throughout this budget supports services to our community, and we couldn't do that without our county staff, our employees out there every day, out there keeping the red lights on and running the ambulances and everything. So thank you to all our county employees for everything you do for our community. It's been a tough year for all of us. We'll get through this. We're stronger than ever. But again, thank you to my colleagues for supporting the budget. And the best thing part of it, like you echoed earlier, is to getting the message out that we did not raise the tax rate. So again, thank you to all the staff.
Thank you. Commissioner Greenwell?
I feel the same. I think you two said it perfectly. We couldn't do it without a great staff, and I thank you for that, and I'm sure the county should thank you for that as well.
Amen. Commissioner Sandelli?
The 28th is coming up soon. It'll be 1 year since Ian visited us. When you think about all the work that's been done in that 1 year period, it's pretty remarkable. So thank you to everybody and to everybody we serve.
Thank you. All right, is there any further discussion? All right, I see no further discussion. Are there any objections?
No.
I see no objections. That motion carries unanimously. And there being no further business before us, we are adjourned.